we won a game. We did it. We actually managed to do it. You could probably tell it's a different background now. I'm in a different location for the summer, so this is the best I can do on short notice. It's not as good as the background I had before, but I think it can make do. It's not too bad. But let's talk about the U.S. We beat Trinidad and Tobago 5-0 to start the Gold Cup, and I'm not too surprised by the result. I think that there were a lot of things that I liked about the performance, but at the same time, it was far from a perfect display. I think against Saudi Arabia and Haiti, we won't get it so easily. Like there were things I liked about it, and I'll talk about that. The first thing I want to really shout out Jack McGlynn. Luna and Ajimang I'll talk about too, but I think the one that I could most see getting into the USA squad and even like in the starting 11 come the World Cup is Jack McGlynn, because he did a lot of things really well today. I think on the first goal he did a really good job recovering the opportunity where it seemed like he had maybe missed his shot but then managed to still turn it back and end up making something of it and playing the pass into Tillman. And that could have very easily fizzled out and come to nothing, but he did a really good job at recovering the chance and then playing it into Tillman. So he did that well. His like highlight of the game was the brilliant pass into Luna from like almost the halfway line, and Luna unfortunately couldn't finish off the chance to really highlight the pass, but it was an extraordinary pass, a great pass. And on top of that, his set piece deliveries were really good. Like there were a lot of things that made me very excited with Jack McGlynn's performance. So I think that's the happiest I am with like anyone on the field. I think Jack McGlynn did really well. In the goalkeeping department, Matt Freese is in instead of Turner, which I think is a fair decision. Turner hasn't looked as good recently. There was a while where he was doing really well, and a few years ago he wasn't the number one, but then he got into the team. I'd say he did pretty well in the World Cup in 2022, but he hasn't played that much recently, and so I don't absolutely hate, like, I don't have any problem with starting Matt Freese. I feel a bit bad for Turner because it seems like going to the Premier League hasn't actually helped out his career very much. Same thing happened with Zach Steffen. I don't know what to make of that with goalkeepers because, like, when you have the opportunity to go to the Premier League, you'd probably say take it, but it's not seemingly going well for our goalkeepers who go to the Premier League. We haven't really had a Premier League mainstay since like Brad Guzan. So we like our goalkeepers maybe are going too big too early. I wonder even if I think I said before like maybe they should try the Eredivisie or even like Serie A or La Liga, and they might do better. The Premier League is such a high standard now that no other league touches it really. Like certain teams in other leagues can challenge the Premier League, but as a whole, the Premier League is by some margin probably now the best league in the world. So it kind of makes sense that goalkeepers could struggle. It's a very hard thing to break into. So that's my rant on goalkeepers. It's a shame because I do like Matt Turner a lot, but I don't mind Matt Freese starting. And for the most part, like, it's interesting. He didn't really have that much to do in the game, in all fairness, so we can't read into it too much. He probably wouldn't have even been in the team if Schulte and Steffen hadn't been injured, but sometimes opportunities like that come, and it's up to you to take them. He hadn't, like, there wasn't too much for him to do in this game, so I don't know if he's going to take that opportunity or not. He did make one pretty good intervention around 60 minutes that probably stopped a Trinidad goal when he got his hand on the ball. So that was good, but there's not much of a sample size from this game yet. I assume he'll at least get a bit more of a test from Saudi Arabia and Haiti, so that's when we'll see more if he's ready to be number one or not. So that's good. I'm excited to see where that can go. And now I'm going to talk about Ajimang and Luna because both of them had like mixed games in my eyes. I think Luna's been looking pretty good for the most part. I think he was at times a bit like he didn't make the best pass all the time. He still had his moments. I don't think he played a bad game. I just think that he had a few moments where he could have done better. And this is like probably the biggest game he's played. Well, no, because he did play in the Nations League actually. So it's not the biggest game he's played in, but it's a bigger game. And so maybe just being on the tournament team that can, affect nerves a little bit. But I still like Luna, and I could definitely see him on our World Cup squad. I just don't know if he'd be a starter, but I think as a solid backup, I wouldn't mind Luna. And the same thing goes with Ajimang. I really like Ajimang's physicality. He has the skill of like being able to outmuscle players, and defenders have struggled a few times with him now with his physicality. And against Switzerland, they were actually like grabbing his shirt and pulling him down because they couldn't do anything else. That's how dominant he was physically. And that's a skill that we could definitely use. Like, that physicality is an asset. I just think that at the same time, he did miss a few chances. He also did set up the first goal. And the third goal he did score. I can't tell if that was intentional or not. If it was intentional, then that was a really good job that he did. How he kind of just like directed the ball into the net with one touch. I have no idea if that was intentional or not. I guess only he really knows. So I don't know if I shout him out for that or not. But if it was intentional, it was a really good shot there. But I was kind of surprised Haji Wright didn't start. I'm not sure what's up with Pochettino and championship players because he didn't even bring Sargent to the squad. And I was surprised Wright didn't start because Wright's been doing pretty well in the championship. Like, he had a very good season in the championship. I think he got like 12 goals despite being out for a decent amount of time. So I'm surprised Haji Wright didn't start, and I want to see Wright. Like, Wright, I quite like Wright as a player, and I want to see him get to start more. I had assumed he was going to be the starting striker for us at the Gold Cup, so I was a bit surprised that he only came off on the bench, but then right away, he and Aronson both. I'm not sure why Aronson didn't start either, but as soon as they came on, they basically got an identical goal, but they both created it out of nothing. They had the ball on the outside of the box, cut in inside, got past the defender, and then managed to shoot in at the goal. And both of them managed to do this all on their own, which, isn't always a good thing if they only ever take it by themselves. But at the same time, sometimes you do need someone to be selfish and just take it and make something happen. And both Aronson and Wright did that today. And I think that could be something that would be good for us going forward. I think I'd rather see Wright starting than Ajimang. I feel for Ajimang the same way I do Luna. I don't know if I'd see him in a starting 11 at the World Cup, but as a backup, I wouldn't mind him. So I think I want to see Wright start more than Ajimang. But 5-0, it's a good result. I think that we were largely all right. We had a few good passing, I think at the same time, a few mistakes here or there, but nothing too bad, and the opposition never gave us much of a challenge. So if ever we did make a mistake, it wasn't like anyone was waiting to pounce. Maybe this is what we need. It'll be good to just get a win. That's a nice feeling. Winning feels good, even if it's against opposition that are ranked just inside the top 100 of the FIFA World Rankings. Like, it's just nice to win. So I think that it can be a positive thing for the squad, even if it's relatively meager opposition. I don't know if this performance makes me think that we're definitely going to, have the same kind of result against Haiti and Saudi Arabia. Uh, that remains to be seen. I think that we could still improve on a lot of things. But if we play like that, we'll definitely do well enough to get through the group, I'd imagine. Uh, it's more what will happen in the latter stages, I think. I doubt we'll beat Haiti and Saudi Arabia by the same score, and for all I know, they very well could beat us. I really hope not, but I wouldn't entirely be surprised if they did. They played a pretty close game early on. I do not like that Saudi Arabia is in the Gold Cup. I like everything about CONCACAF except CONCACAF itself. I do not like the Federation of CONCACAF. I feel like they act in the interest of money quite a lot, and things like inviting Qatar and Saudi Arabia to the Gold Cup when you could have given that to a Central American or Caribbean team that doesn't usually get tournament football. I don't like that idea. I don't like that they've really tried to get more USA versus Mexico matchups in club competitions, and that makes sense from a financial standpoint. MLS and Liga MX are by far the highest grossing and like well-known leagues in CONCACAF, but I don't know if that's great for a competitive standpoint. So I don't really like CONCACAF that much, but I don't like the organization of CONCACAF. I like CONCACAF football though, so I am still excited to watch the Gold Cup now, and hopefully the U.S. can do moderately well. It wasn't a bad result today, so that's good, and it's nice to win. We'll see if that's good enough later on. It's going to be harder in the next two group games, but for at least the next few days, I'm just going to be happy that we won a game and smile for that.